Hello and welcome everybody to the Dragon Warrior Randomizer 2025 Summer Tournament matchup between dk9146 and brianwilliams42. I am your host, Aaron TU2, and with me on comms today is Tilo. Welcome in, sir.
Oh, thank you. I am excited for this race. These are two absolute veteran runners, although both of which were supposed to be retired because they were so embarrassed by losing to me and getting knocked out of the playoffs, but they both decided to come back in instead. So we've got the Tom Brady matchup here going on, and we'll see what happens. Looks like we are starting with 8 strength, so that's good enough for anything up to ghost. That is the bad strength for magicians, if I recall correctly, so we don't want to be taking those on, but anything below should be safe, so we shouldn't have too much trouble getting off the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me know if our audios are balanced, everyone. It's harder for me to tell since I'm doing the restream and commentating, so audio with, their strength is too high. Okay. Well, give me a second. We'll fix that. No, just kidding. But yeah, this is really exciting. We have Brian, who's been a finalist in one of the standard tournaments. DK has won one of these. He also, more recently, he won he won the 2020 tournament. Brian was the runner-up in 2021, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And then DK won the Rando tournament in 2022 and the Random Cup tournament. He won Winter League this most recent year, and also is the Alt Standard Async Series champion as well. So all of that is coming to a head. This could be the year of DK.
DK is always a threat. And I mean, he's made the semifinals at least, more times beyond just the year he won, so he's gone quite far a lot of times, and as you said, just won a whole lot of other tournaments. So DK's pretty scary, and Brian Williams knows everything about the game. He just hasn't been in the tournaments for the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been nice to see Brian coming back into everything. No, anyway, we have to start underway. Herb and Herb. How about that? Double Herb. Wonderful.
Well, you could take a long Scorpion battle now if you needed to.
Yeah, I mean, the extra strength isn't going to help you any different unless it was 4, but I would blow 2 herbs for that, for sure. Also, the chance if there was like a town nearby, they could just sell the herbs for like 3 torches, but that's like going full beta, and I don't know if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, that's actually a play I don't know would occur to me at that point in time, but I'm glad you added it to my arsenal right there.
Yeah, the herb sale for torches is something that's actually become somewhat popular recently. I mean, not everyone does it, but I've seen it happen a little bit. Now here we go, level 2.
Zero, 1, 2, 4. That is lovely. So we're going to keep staying in this zone. Of course, it's got slimes, red slimes, drakies, so it's a pretty easy grind zone to get up to 2 or even 3 if you need to.
Yeah, I think you would say this is second verse, same as the first. Just keep going.
I did tell Urson before I came up here that I was hoping I wouldn't see her for about another 3 hours. That is what I would like these runners to experience. So we'll see if the seed keeps giving like this.
Man, I do not hope for that. I'm hoping to get out of here clean about 15 till 2. That'd be perfect for me, but fortunately, it's not about me. I don't really want to be racing right now. If you type ! who rolled this, it will let you know who rolled this. Which this might be the first time this could be a bit of a conflict of interest, since Brian is the one who made the bot and he's in the race.
Yeah, I call shenanigans.
Although it doesn't look like he's doing anything special here. Yeah, it just seems like try to get some good fights. The Ghost might be the best fight here. It's got Stop Spell, and it's the highest experience enemy you can kill. Oh, never mind.
Ghost says no.
Reminded we have the, oh, there we go. Nice ghost stats. Yeah, probably not going to want to fight that, after all. And a reminder, we are in the Yolomor group, so we have the image of, that was created by Juef for this, the Dragon Lord getting pummeled with magic. I know it's this fire breath, but you know, there aren't any magic symbols in the game, so there you go. And we do have on commentary with me the first person, I think, to land a Yolomor and win a race as a result. Is that right?
That is not correct.
Not correct.
The original, as far as I'm aware, was actually Tristal, who landed a Hurtmore in desperation. And yet the Dragon Lord still did not die, but he physicaled him so little that he got an extra swing on top of that to finish him off. But no, Tristal, before I was ever even around, so like in the first or second tournament, did land a Yolomor to win a race.
Nice. But we did see the pickup in level 3, as Hoodie's posted in the chat. 13, 1, 2, 15. No spells yet, but that strength makes you can fight, you know, a few more things now. Maybe not the Magidrake, so we saw that one has hurt more. That's there's nothing that you're gonna really do with that right now.
Yeah, the Magician's gonna be pretty nice to get to level 4, though.
Well, he's still going after the Magidrake. He's fine. So.
Have both of them seen the Hurtmore at this point?
Well, DK did, so he knew, I think.
And he has seen it again.
Yeah. Maybe he's going to be a little less confident going after them.
And now Brian most certainly has.
Yeah, 75%. Probably not worth trying for. Probably not.
Brian opting to save that 5 gold.
5. Okay. I don't know. Does he? He doesn't have any items, right? So I'm not exactly sure what he's thinking.
Maybe he's thinking to hold on to those herbs in case he needs them for exploration.
Okay. Yeah, that might.
Oh,
be
hey,
it.
Magicians have Hurtmore too.
Oh man. So the best enemy that they can kill. Well, they could kill a scorpion if there was one, but we haven't seen it. But yeah, Magician, Ghost, Magidrake are all in the normal good kill range, but they all have Hurtmore. So, you know, 1, 2, 3 experience all the way to 35 is not pleasant, but that might be the play.
Yeah, it's when you get from that 35 to 82 that you really start going, do I really want to sit here and do this? But I'll grind slimes up to level 4, usually if I need to.
Yeah. So it looks like the zone boundaries here, DK went one step to the left, and there was a wolf, so Tantagel might be on the far west edge of that. So if we see people kind of going left there, that might be on purpose. The Magician had...
the Magician's left.
Yeah, sorry, that's actually not bad. That might make them worth killing, which he just did, so... I would think...
Yeah, protects them a bit from the Hurtmore.
Yeah, because, you know, whatever the Hurtmore percentage is gets filtered through the, you know, what's left after Stop Spell. Of course, if the Stop Spell lands, then it's fair game.
Yeah, it is possible to kill them in 2 hits, though, so even 1 Stop Spell would be okay. But here we go with the next level. We have 7, 11, 3, 2. You can most certainly take those Magidrakes, or you can probably take those Magidrakes now. You can most certainly take the Magicians as you need to, but I might be looking to see if I can find another zone line that potentially could have Scorpions in it.
Yeah, I would, I think at this point I would consider where I saw that wolf just kind of, you know, chilling over there to see what happens, and if I can get anything better than that. We don't know what the north-south boundaries are yet, although it seems like you can go quite a ways north, so... And there's just plains in the south. Yeah, we see Brian already he's in that western zone. There must be something over there that's interesting to him, because he's walking it, you know, purposefully.
Well, it's got red slimes and drakies in it, so that's helpful. I think that might actually, the drakies may only be in that zone. I'm not sure. Or maybe he's not quite realizing that the zone lines are different. Oh, he has to be, because now he's stopping to move left that last little bit. So he's kind of going back and forth.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing that, you know, we're talking a little bit about it. It's not the most interesting thing in the world, but it is really good to know your zone boundaries at the beginning, especially if you're in a protracted grind like this. You got nothing better to do. You know, just figure it out, because that information could help later.
And I answer in chat, yeah, I mean, they obviously have to go south to get anywhere, because north they've already cut off completely, and there is the swamp in the east. I would take one quick journey across it to see what was there, because I like crossing swamps early in seeds. But I can't blame them for trying to just go ahead and get level 5 here and see if they can't get some healing.
Yeah, that's the saying, you've mentioned it, I think, more than anybody, is the Game Boy saying about swamps.
Yeah, Game Boy used to say on his channel all the time, winners cross swamps. And it's a thing, a lot of people are reticent to cross the swamps because of the damage that goes to them, and you often will get an edge over your opponent by not being afraid of those swamps, because you'll often find things that they won't.
Yeah, and you never know. You can only see, what, 7, 8 tiles in one direction. Even 1-2 steps into the swamp, you could see something immediately there. And you know, they're not really handicapped at this point. It's just the grinds are not optimal. I mean, once you start getting to the point where things are running that you want to fight, that's when it really starts to hurt, I think. But
yeah, the running is definitely where it's bad, but the Drakima is a nice target.
Yeah, he might get forced into using an herb, but I think he would trade an herb to kill one of these pretty easily. Oh, dodging, though. Yeah, and he's definitely willing to do that. 20 experience is just an absolute slingshot compared to what he's been dealing with. It almost ties him up, like he's right in it now with DK, where it looked like the rate he was going, he was about a minute behind.
Yeah, the Drakimas are remarkably dodgy, especially for an early game enemy, so using that herb there, definitely the right call, because there's a very decent dodges multiple times.
Yeah, this zone looks wonderful if you have enough strength to fight wolves, because it feels like the wolves won't stop appearing.
I'm curious if the wolf can do over half our hit points in one hit, though. So even if you have the strength, I'm not sure you could pull it off easily. But if we had a few more hit points, it'd probably be a nice grind.
There we go. Brian got another one, and now he's back to Zone 0, trying to finish up this level with no danger. He doesn't want the many wolves or the Drakima. He did use both herbs, however, so if he doesn't get a reasonable stat boost here, he's not exactly going to be able to go back to them. But who knows? We haven't seen a single spell yet. Anything could drop.
Well, we're about to get simultaneous level 5s and see what our runners do from that.
Indeed. So level 5 has 1 power, 0 agility, 1 hit point, 0 magic points.
Spectacular. Now, if I am DK, I consider the next time I die going and saving my herbs and then using those to cross the swamp as far as I can to see if I can find anything across there, because it does look like swamp is the only way to get through.
Indeed. Yeah, which makes you... Well, Brian got through that Drakima without having to herb up that time. He just swung better, so he might go back to that. When we see that was actually in the southern zone, I believe that's technically Zone 2. Zone 1 is the left-right zone. Which again, this is just taken from Vanilla. And oh boy, there is a town, and DK is able to get to it, but what is he going to do with the town? Cantlin. He's got 79 gold.
Yeah, you get excited about, a couple fairy waters. He could kill a wolf with that.
Looks like Brian is going the same direction, but I don't think he's going to be able to get to the town. Doesn't have enough hit points, doesn't have any healing left. Might be beating himself up a little bit over it if he sees it. That's actually might be the most unfortunate combination of things that could happen for Brian there, that he gets sort of the way over and doesn't see it. But he just reset out of that. I'm a little bit surprised, because I think if you reset, you do it a little bit quicker if you're going to try to do that sort of strat. I think he's just going to hunt, you know, Drakimas and whatever else he can get along the way. Brian might, or excuse me, DK on the other hand is probably going to try to take out a wolf with those fairy waters.
Yeah, and it's very possible he might run into a Drakima on the way, and therefore learn about that, or have that in his arsenal too.
Now he's thinking about it. He got hit. Yep, he decided to,
Yeah.
The old discretion is the better part of valor. Just get no. Let's not even bother trying.
Yeah, it's not a guaranteed kill with 2 fairy waters, and so you aren't going to survive a second hit by the wolf there. So it would not have been safe to do that at all. If I'd saved after going back, it would have been reasonable to give it a shot, and then you could just reset and get those fairy waters back. But without the save, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, everyone's back to their normal grinds. I think Brian realized he's taken too many hits and can't take out the Drakima anymore, so now he's in zone 0. Some people might think to just, you know, find a way to get yourself killed real quick so you can go back to it, but yeah, he even took down a ghost. And you know, we've mentioned ghosts are a little bit scary, but I'd say the ghost and the magician are definitely on the table. The Magidraki still might not be, just because I think it's probably still 3 swings on average, and you're hoping for the 75% to not happen at least 2 times in a row. Of course, they don't know the exact percent, but it seems like it's been every time. Responding to chat, I don't think we saw the border past Cantlin. So it's possible that there is stuff, and DK again getting immediately attacked by the wolf. Just has to be super frustrating now. You got this cool strat you've come up. I'm just gonna fairy water a wolf down, get a nice, you know, clean 40 experience, and each time it ambushes you. It's just awful.
And that's when you're happy to see a Magidraki, because you have a shot. Hey, look, I might beat this, or it might send me back and I go to my wolf again. Either way, it works out.
Brian, on the other hand, does pick up level 6, and level 6 is another very nice stat bonus. I believe it was 14 strength. I forget the first spell, but the second spell was Heal More. Okay, Sleep and Heal More. Both are pretty useful. Sleep will let you go after a wolf with these stats easily. Or, excuse me, Heal More would let you go after a wolf. I guess Sleep works too, so... And DK decides to fairy water the Drakima instead.
Yeah, the sleep also, you can take out a wolf pretty easily with that now. If that strength bonus plus sleep, I think that seems promising. Or you could, you know, because the wolf can still hit pretty hard, so I wouldn't want to try. I don't know that I'd want to try using heal more strats. I think that, because that would exhaust your resources faster. But sleep is an excellent way to get through those wolves.
Yeah, I saw, since you know, DK I think was kind of, you know, just hoping for a crit there, or just get killed or something by the wolf. Brian, on the other hand, now knows he can fight wolves. It just has to. I think he's thinking too much about heal more, not about sleep. This is surprising. I mean, wolves are 1 in 16 chance to resist sleep. That's pretty much the optimal way to fight them at a lower level, and you can definitely not have to spend the 8 MP in exchange for 2. So
yeah, and you always have the heal more in your back pocket. Now he tries to sleep the mountains. You always have the heal more in your back pocket if sleep is if sleep doesn't treat you well, but you can also stretch your resources a lot further with the sleep.
Right, and that maybe that sleep cast was like punishment. Like, oh yeah, I have this, you idiot. That's how I would say it. I'm not saying he's an idiot. I'm usually pretty angry at myself when I miss stuff like that. So yeah, DK picking up level 6 as well. Again, we're still pretty tight here. That was about a difference of 40 seconds. But considering Brian already took a death and he's almost out of resources again, I don't know that's going to change too much. And there we go. Sleep cast from DK. He knows. Oof. Werewolf. That's, you could sleep that, but I don't think you're gonna take it down.
I might consider just dancing there for a second to see if you might find something else of interest there for either knowledge now or later. You know, you never know if a metal slime might pop its head up.
Right. Man, I would be sad to even see one at this point with 43 strength. If I ever see a metal slime nearby and I could have gotten to it early and I didn't, I'm just immediate, like, sense of dread. Just no, I don't want to see you. Go away. It looks like Brian is just taking the death there. Get the refill. I mean, I'll be thinking about in terms of, like, absolute efficiency here. It's quicker for me to get a refill to get to the next level than to try to beat this guy and die.
Yeah, but he could have slept that and potentially, I mean, I guess he had, because he still, did he just have 1 hit or 2 hits left that was going to kill him?
1. He was...
Okay, yeah, I'd probably just go ahead and go home at 2.
And here we go. Sleepy Wolf beating up the Wolf. Wolf wakes up on DK's side, puts it back to sleep, and cast Heal More. I actually thought he might just swing with how much... Oh, if he did swing, he would have been dead, so good on him to not do that. And
well,
then,
not if he crit the Wolf, he wouldn't have been dead.
there you go. Just crit.
DK's gonna go save his MP now because he has seen the town and he knows he can purchase things now with this money. I'm curious if he'll probably stick around to level 7. Oh, 9, 8, 2, 2, and outside.
Yeah, not a terrible level. Again, the stats, the HP and the MP aren't great, but the strength and agility are, you know, fine. Strength's even a little high for level 7, so... Can't really complain too much about that. The spells were withholding until 6, but now it feels like how it probably should have felt 2 levels ago.
Yeah, what's nice is that 8 agility means the wolves are going to hit just for a little less, which might potentially give you an extra swing at some points.
Yeah, with the hit points being this tight, that's definitely useful. Let's see, 19 to 40 is what? So they're 7 to 15 right now, I think. So they're unlikely to two-shot you, where before they technically could have, although I still think it was pretty unlikely.
And with that strength increase, you could potentially 3-shot them, so you could actually go through a battle without having to use sleeve.
Yeah, if you have to, like what Brian's situation right now. Yeah, nice 17 on the wolf. That's good to see. That definitely puts you in the 2-shot territory. Of course, it was the last swing, so...
Went for explored that swamp further. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, he didn't have the HP for it, but still hasn't gone east again to see if he could find Cantlin. Again, not that there's a whole lot that would help him at this moment at Cantlin. Anyway, weapons not that important at the moment. For at this, you know, while fighting these wolves is not really that important.
Yeah, I get the feeling DK might be holding out for hand axe money, and then he might go to Cantlin himself. He has been going into the inn, or in the magic recovery dude in Tantagel to keep his money. So that has to be something that's on his mind. And just looking at where the values are, I assume that's what he's doing. Now, is he going to end up at level 8 and hurt more or something by the time that happens? Yeah, I don't know, but it makes sense to maybe sit on it just a little bit to just keep your options open about what you can do.
Yeah, did we see the Cantlin shop?
No, I think he went straight to the fairy water now. You could call this like tournament mode when you're facing somebody again. Coming in, DK was the 10 seed through the Asyncs. Brian was the 11, which if we didn't have the drop, if that wasn't something that was installed, they actually would have be opposite positions. Actually, Brian I think would have been 9th, but because he had more overall points, but the drop that DK had was bigger. So. But yeah, this is an even race. These are the top 2 people in their group. This is a race that either of them you think, I win this and I'm in excellent position to win this group, or to just, make the brackets. So all of these seeds, when they come like this, put a little extra pressure on you. And what I was saying with like tournament brain can kind of make you want to save little bits of time everywhere you go, and things like checking shops don't necessarily register as good uses of your time.
Yeah, there's always you check shops for stuff you can't afford, because then you know what you can get later and know, do I need to check another shop? But at the same time, if you can't afford it, are you wasting time going to that shop? So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Either way, you are potentially putting yourself at risk. So comes down to preference. But the fewer shopping trips you can do, the better off you are. But by not checking earlier, you almost say, oh, now I'm gonna have to make a fruitless trip later.
So with this level 8, Brian is again going east. He still doesn't really have a lot of hit points. If he doesn't lose any, he could make it to Cantlin, but he went the wrong direction. Oh no, I am right. He's got heal more. What am I talking about? He's fine. And
yeah, we got that 17 MP boost, so that's really nice for our heal mores.
And oh, there's a metal slime right outside of Cantlin. Get out of here, slime.
So at this point, I am going to, in Brian's shoes, I would consider buying fairy water and using it to repel everything but the wolves in that zone.
Yeah, I see he already bought the chainmail there, so he's not thinking about that. Although if he has to settle on the club for his weapon, that was the best weapon, the only weapon in the top shop, he might do that. And double club. Okay, so maybe he'll buy a small shield. Yeah, that looks like where he's going. So this is actually good for Brian, the way that this equipment laid out, because DK can't get anything better than what Brian got. They're both clubbing it for a while.
The nice thing is it's a red dragon with the metal slimes.
Oh, shoot. Of course.
A nice thing is that the defense is 37, and if I recall correctly, wolves have 40 attack power, so that repel would still have worked. Of course, he didn't buy fairy water, so that's not relevant now, but it's a perfect defense if you want to just fight wolves for another level.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's maybe we'll see DK do that, because he's not going to be able to get anything beyond what Brian's going to be able to get, unless he decided to just get a large shield, which I don't think is going to happen. So being able to repel, a lot of times people think about repel as something you just use late in the game, but being able to repel out weak enemies from zones, 1 and 2, be able to take just a wolf or a metal scorpion or something like that is actually an extraordinarily strong move if that is the best grind, and you can't really do much beyond that, which, I mean, at this point they could take out some mid-game stuff, but it would probably exhaust most of the resources. Really depend on how well Sleep stuck.
Yeah, because they can't absorb 2 hits from any of the mid-game stuff, so it's definitely a sleep fight if you want to do that. But if you can get them to sleep, you could definitely take on some of that stuff. But now Wolf only doing 5 damage, 6 damage. Sleep is a time waste at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're on pace to two shot, yeah, that's usually where the line is for me. Sleep is if it's gonna take 3 hits, and if it's gonna be 2, then don't bother, unless you just absolutely have no heals. But even if heal more is 8 MP, I think I don't know that I would.
Well, that 17 MP boost from the last level gives them enough resources that they can continue this grind for a while, even taking the hits from the wolves, because they have enough heal mores to just keep it going on for a bit. If they were back down to where they only had like 2 heal mores, then I'd still probably consider sleeping because you'd have to refill so frequently. But with 5 of them, yeah, you do whatever you want to, or need to make it fast.
Yeah, so, yeah, we're still pretty close here. Brian's got a little bit of a lead, like maybe a wolf and a half lead, and this might really just be encounter luck. He's kind of had the experience lead ever since he came across the Drakimas and started focusing on them. We'll see again. DK is still throwing out the sleeps. Brian is not. So what we'll see is, I don't know, it just depends. How long does it take to get a magic refill or to die? Considering how much money it costs to get any additional gear, I'm not sure they're going to be focused too much on that, but might not. I mean, I don't know. Getting the 1500 for a broadsword is not something that you can envision doing here, I think. There's so many, like, at some point you just push out instead of doing this, I think, rather than try to do that.
Yeah, I am wondering what DK is thinking right now, because he bought the stuff in Cantlin and just left and gave himself a swamp death warp, but there still were items. He could have bought fairy water, he could have bought herbs, could have bought a dragon scale, if he were so inclined, could have gotten radishes, and instead decided to hold on to his money, or kind of hold on to his money, since he did death warp, if I remember correctly. So I'm curious what the reason is for holding on to those, because I know you can think, oh, well, those take time, but you're going to need to get herbs, and fairy water is very likely going to be valuable throughout the seed. Brian had like 1 gold left, so I get him not doing anything, but DK kind of surprised me there.
Yeah, and hey, we found the western edge of the world, or it might be the western edge of the world. This is gonna be a strange map.
Yeah, this is the only way we can go now is through this, is south from here. So we do know that, I'm pretty sure that at least in a few minutes, Brian is going to be very confident the exact coordinates of the castle from the coast.
Yeah, I don't know if the north was traceable or not, but he's been peeking up there a few times, and he might be counting to the coastline. As far as the west coast goes, though, that is 1 or 2 zones, so it's going to be a 15 or 30 offset.
Yeah, zone 1 or 2, whichever one is the north one, ends at the northern coast, so that is convenient.
Okay. Yeah, so he might have both of them. I'm not going to try to do that on stream. I feel like I'd be showing
And I'm pretty
people
confident this is going to be swamp, since we have absolutely no... we're done with this continent.
Gotta love the really small first continent. It's always fun. You just throw a bunch of swamp in there too. Make it super annoying. Looks like, I don't know if Brian's gonna go back to the wolves. Wolves are not terrible, like even up to level 10. They're not ideal, but they're just not completely bad. But Brian, I think, is just focused on moving. 37 HP is just awful, but this whole situation right now is kind of awful, and you're trying to choose, you know, almost picking your poison, which is the better or worse option to do, to keep pushing and possibly dying, or to just get stuck.
Yeah, I think he might push out, or at least what I would probably do here is push out one more time and see what might send me home. If I run into, if I run into the blue dragon, that's just poor luck, but if I run into a second monster that's also going to send me home, I might go ahead and decide, let's get another level and see if we can't get some HP, but I'm not going to let one bad monster scare me off, because that's, generally speaking, a 20% chance.
Right. And DK has made it further than Brian, technically. Brian held up by a sleepy Druid Lord. DK, on the other hand, sleeping a Wyvern, which would be an excellent fight. Yeah, Brian's still going off on this Druid Lord. Well, he sort of did. I don't know, I guess he gave up.
Yeah, the thing about Druid Lords in that situation is that you cannot sleep them, or you can. They're just 15 out of 16 resist, while Wyverns are only 1 and 4 resist. So, but these Droll Magi are 1 and 8 resist, and are also very good eating.
Yeah, and as Chad is pointing out here, Swamp North. This is not the one that you wanted to be. You wanted to yeet out of here, but both of these guys are getting good enemies, at least, so... Like you said, the Droll Magi. The Rogue Scorpion's a little less ideal just because of your lacking hit power, but you still take it.
And we've got Drakimas in here for good measure, too. It's definitely not a zone I'd complain about. DK decided the cave needed to sleep after Brian slept the hills.
Yeah, everyone just wants to throw that sleep out everywhere, I suppose. We got a nice metal slime for Brian.
They're trying to manifest a heal, you know.
I think he's 0 for 3, 0 for 4, and then he runs away. Saying metal slime, more like metal waste of time.
I'm now, having seen that, I am now gonna sit there and grind in that cave till I, for the next level, because so far we've seen nothing but good stuff.
Yeah, and well, DK goes right, finds the wool. Brian went south and found the red dragon. He's just gonna go back to wolves. I'm not surprised. That's I don't know, man. I mean, that cave's good, but wolves are, as an efficiency level, so much better. And anyway, meanwhile, DK walks, well, almost into a town. X-Town? Former town? Cave?
Kind of surprised, note, that he didn't try to sleep that Star Wyvern. I think you have better odds at this point in time landing asleep than you do actually killing or running from the Star Wyvern.
Yes, that is sometimes true. Technically not in this case, because it's actually the 40 agility is where it's a 50-50 point. But that's something that people do overlook. That and werewolves and a lot of other enemies, when you're at really low agility, it's actually better to sleep.
Star Wyverns are 1 and 4 resist, though, right?
To sleep?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe
actually,
I'm wrong. But I thought they were 1 and 4 to resist, which is why I was suggesting that. Oh, it's 50% resist. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Sorry, you got me confused for a second. I have this on my charts, even though I don't use it too much, because the only time it's really ever relevant is the Star Wyvern. I think I irritated somebody once calling it a Star Wyvern, and then I proceeded to just say everything as Wyvern for like the next month on stream.
So we had a Fighter's Ring, Fairy Water, and Gold in the top of Grave. Nothing particularly helpful. I mean, the Gold's nice. Did we see a Broadsword?
Yes.
I don't know. But I don't know that he's getting home with that money anyway. But potentially you could go in and out a couple of times, especially if there's metal slimes there, like the one he just got, and go grab another thing, a couple more things of gold, and have broadsword money when you die.
Yeah, that's a good point. That was his second metal slime. I'm not sure how. The game is loving him a little bit right now. So he went the right direction for a lot of things, including the metal slimes and the not red dragon. And that's kind of the difference in this race right now. 600 experience is quite a bit, and it's mostly on the back of that. And yeah, so he's got enough money. He might even consider a weak grind to go get a broadsword. But I don't know, level 10, 10 to 11, you don't really want to be fighting wolves if you can avoid it.
Oh, we found another town, and we know this has to be something useful.
That does technically count as useful, Garenham. And we have... I mean, copper sword's better. Yeah, it's an improvement.
Large sword, or large shield too, means you don't have to think about that anymore. So, you know, you probably aren't going to bother with a gold grind. You may not bother with a gold grind, especially since you've already cleared Hawks, if you get the large shield.
His stream hiccup, but based off of the gold difference, I'm pretty sure he bought a large shield.
He did not buy herbs.
No. Which is, surprising. And then, of course, immediately leaves town and gets killed by a Sharlock enemy. That is the normal expected experience. There is one other thing that I observed that, I mean, you might have an opinion on this too, but you're talking about the north end being the north end of the world. When they went to the cave here, it kind of looked like it was the south end of the world. I don't know if it goes as far down as this on the eastern side, but that coordinate might not be the easiest thing to know. Now, we do have swamps somewhat nearby, so that might even be in their mind if, like, 11 is hurt more or something, or they actually get some hit points at some point to go ahead and rescue that princess before pushing out too hard. But being able to do a reverse count if that sort of thing pops up could be massively advantageous at just not having to come back all the way again.
Yeah, I know Brian has said his goal is to never rescue the princess again. So if it's at all possible, he will avoid it. I am very much a counting is overrated person. I think the amount of time you lose to mistaken counts and the stutter stepping and whatnot often costs a lot more than people think it does. And, you know, obviously there's contingencies here, but the princess, generally speaking, doesn't cost that much if the swamp cave is anywhere reasonable. And so I prefer to preemptive rescue in this kind of situation.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the scenario when you have to go buy the princess to get to Cantlin matters. Of course, we might not have keys before you find... well, actually, because of the location of Cantlin, it actually does make a little bit more sense. Now, I was thinking, I forgot Cantlin's, like, the thing we can already get to. We just can't get to coordinates because of the keys, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, in that case, you don't preemptively rescue because you can find out, you know, what you didn't want to do is be off in the boonies and get coordinates and now have to return and go get the princess and everything. But if you're going to get coordinates right by where the princess is and right by home, then there's no reason to early rescue. Not that they could kill anything on a spike right now anyway.
Oh, I was going to say, DK got a third metal slime. I was going to, I don't know, do some investigations or something. You got 2 hits on it. Like, this is not the He's Still Here group. They're not supposed to stick around. We're supposed to jinx everyone with the group names, right?
Well, I do believe that every race Urson has had, who, and she is in the Demon Knight in a Cave group, has had a Demon Knight in a cave. I can tell you that much.
Yes, which... I would go as far as to say that that would be unwanted. That it's better to not see them. So, the lead-in experience that DK got from the Metal Slimes, and, you know, some decent fights, too. It's not just been that sort of luck. Brian is still fighting to catch up to, but he's not that far behind now. DK puts the Knight to sleep. Nice. Knights are not, I mean, they're what, 716 resist, same as a green dragon? Or no, they're 6 out of 16. They're strange value. So,
Brian, I missed it, but Brian did get fairy waters, so he is repelling everything but the wolves, which is how one of the ways he's able to catch up so quickly. Is because he's not dealing with extra garbage.
Yeah, you eat a ton of time dealing with running away from all those enemies. And so we see level 11 is 2, 1, 13, 18, Radiant, and Return. Not, I mean, those hit points are nice. 13 hit points, yeah. And DK just immediately dies. He would rather get the MP and HP refill. Makes sense.
Yeah, and with that copper sword added attack power, you can legit go after with 52 HP. You can potentially go after a lot of mid-game enemies now.
Right. I think I'm trying to think of what might be a good target. The good news for Brian is that maybe it's not good news, but when he does get level 11, he will. He has repel, and he's using the fairy water. That's interesting. Just noticed that. But anyway, the good news, and I put good news in quotes, is that he's not going to get enough agility that's going to break the rules yet. Maybe that's not truly good news, but it's something.
Yeah, I don't know how willing I would be to sit there and grind wolves from level 10 or from level 11 to 12, having seen so little of the map. So I imagine he's gonna venture off again. But if we saw a broadsword in Cantlin, then he's about to get that money, and that may be what propels him to go forward.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes people are grinding for money and not just experience. Sometimes.
Spectres, which are generally really nice mid-game enemies, have DL2 breath.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for DK. Again, Brian is virtually caught up now, one wolf away. And he's got enough money for the broadsword if he wants it. He might pop in and get a refill, though, before he does it, yeah. And hopefully he avoids the Red Dragon on the way there. It's not a commentator's curse if I'm hoping that it doesn't happen, right?
Do you consider saving in Brian's shoes, given that you know there are red dragons that you could run into on the way to Cantlin and you have broadsword money?
Man, I would really not want to, but I might. And he is. Interestingly, he cast Repel there, but he didn't heal up to max. He might not have noticed what it was, or didn't think it was worth bothering with. I guess if you're going to save it, it doesn't matter quite that much. And DK, another push through, gets taken out by a blue dragon. That path is more dangerous than it seems. And, with this stuff that DK has done, he's managed to get the large shield and the copper sword. But that copper sword advantage is likely to be neutralized in a second here when Brian gets the broadsword. And there might be something to say about these wolf fights, although DK is putting another knight to sleep. So, although I think he can get it with the last hit. Yeah, there we go. And hey, it's our friend, the Red Dragon. Friend, in quotes.
That safety save almost being useful.
Yeah, I think he... Yeah, that's right. The broadsword was only in the bottom shop. There was just the club in the first. I knew there was something that was in both. So, there we go. Now his sword on his character is actually a sword and not a sword looking like club. I have the sudden desire now to somebody to make the Guma sprite from Zelda 2 into a sprite into this game. It's probably a bad idea.
So, do you consider at this point, if you're Brian and have the broadsword, do you consider checking the Hawksness spike when you come across it? Because obviously that can send you back home, but at the same time, it could be a green dragon or a stone man that you can that you could take out with the sleep spell. And you have enough power that you can do it without 100 swings.
I would say it would depend on my resources. If I'm almost dead, I'll probably just run. Well, actually, if I get to the second continent and I'm almost dead, I am running around for a town. I don't care about Hawksness. But if...
Okay, so say he finds Hawksness and finds Garanham, you go back.
Yeah, I think I would, just because the absolute overpowering nature in the matter of this seed to get armor is so big. I know we've seen nothing, but any search spot has to be just a magnet at this point. Like, if I could try coordinates, I would. Anything that you could try to do to get one of those checks in when you've just been suffering so much could be huge. The value of armor is intense whenever you're low on hit points like this, because the biggest thing is it saves you from casting heal after every single battle, because that's pretty much what you have to do.
And Brian is opting to stick around in the cave and grind. We know we have the Magi Wyverns, we have the Rogue Scorpion, not Magi Wyverns, Droll Magi. We know we have Rogue Scorpions, we know we have Wyverns now, we have Drakeemas. This is a really nice zone.
Oh yeah, this is a good start. Good push through here. Just, you know what, wait, he's not going to hit level 12 doing this, but he can get close, he might come right back. I mean, he killed the knight on the way in here too. He's definitely still thinking about experience, I think, more than anything. Which, oh, green dragons in there too. That, you said before, Stone Man green dragons are killable, so that could be a consideration. And you never know when you'll come into something that's just completely nerfed. The multiple metal slimes, and just show up and run.
I will say, I don't think when he was going back and forth, he kept stepping on the stairs, and there is a chance those stairs are a worse encounter rate. I believe they do the same grass checkerboard logic, and so it could have been a 116 or it could have been a 1 in 20 or 1 in 32. I'm not sure which one it is, but I would have avoided the stairs in that particular situation.
Yeah, the stair. I think in the caves you can actually know what it is, because I think the rotating nature only, like, it's preset across the maps, and since the caves aren't randomized, it's always the same ones. So
yeah,
but,
so you can know in advance what it is if you do that, but I don't know in advance what those numbers are, so I would avoid it. Brian probably does know that because he has spreadsheets on everything in this game.
Yeah, like, I have no idea. I just know that is a possibility. This is the sort of degree of things that maybe we don't want the knowledge to go to. Like, there's things about DWR that are cool and neat. We want people to learn and understand, zone boundaries being used for reverse counts are still kind of a new and neat thing. Having to know which stairs have a higher encounter rate than others is probably not one that we want to be relevant.
Well, the good news is the stairs can never be beneficial. At best, they are the same rate as the cave, so you don't have to know that. You could just not walk over the stairs.
True. So DK has found Sharlock, which is not really anything right now. He's explored a good amount of the map while he's been doing this. He just isn't finding the things that help. He's been finding things for later. And some people might be like, well, that's, you should just be grinding then if that's the case. But there's so many good things that you can come across right now. Remolder, probably. Yeah, keys, sword, armor. Those are the three things that you always are on the lookout for, things that can catapult you ahead. And you're 50 minutes, almost 51 minutes into this, and you haven't seen keys. And the layout of the map is a large reason for that. But man, you're just starting to tick-tock in the back of your head. And that is true. He's still fighting great fights. He's still pushing ahead, and now he got level 12. Which...
That's the one. So Brian's going to be very, very happy that he's sitting here grinding to level 12.
Yeah, that's hurt more. That's another 17 hit points. 69 is a lot higher. Like, it's a lot more viable value. You kind of want it to be like 73, just to clear the DL2 range. But this puts you in a situation where now you can fight a lot of stuff, and this whole path leads to a town. It's got one. Oh no, wolf!
Oh no!
Oh.
That's so far away. However, having said that, both in Brian's shoes and in DK's shoes, the very first thing I do now that I have hurt more is go walk to that spike in this cave and see if it's something I can't get myself more survivability on. you have to check for an Axe Knight or a Green Dragon, or kind of even an Armor Knight in this situation, to just rocket your experience up till you get to something useful.
What we've seen from DK's, because I mean he's probably seen over half the map now, which makes me believe that the stuff is going to be very congregated once you get to it. There's going to be a nice clump of things. We'll probably see some, buddy towns or caves, actually, more likely. It wouldn't be, oh man, they could be past Grave too. That's probably the direction just based off of what we've seen. So. Unless I missed a wall over there.
And after this rogue, Brian's going to end up 1 XP away.
Yeah, 1 hit point. And chat pointed this out. Didn't buy herbs, and that might have bit him. He's not checking the spike. He's just pushing on. He might be thinking about Hawksness first and foremost because he has seen it. And with Hurtmore, with the stats, honestly, he's... Red Dragon would be ultra tight. Golem would be slightly less favorable. But he can kill anything now that's on that spike.
And yeah, Brian is heading straight towards that spike. Of course, he hasn't seen Hawksness, so he wouldn't plan on going to that at this moment. But he is going to go check the spike.
Makes sense again. He's been very grind-minded ever since the, he pushed a couple of times, but he's been just trying to find better grinds, and I mean, you could double Hurtmore or something, I don't know. He might just die here, just die. Leaving out here with, yeah, Hurtmore! Haha, got him. I don't know. I would just be tempted to die and restart with a full set of MP. That's what DK did, I think, at 10 or 11. And rather than hobbling through the end of this cave. I know it's a bit of time, but he's already been out here and hasn't seen an immediate town. I don't like hobbling out into areas I don't know.
Well, it's possible the thought process here is I can take most things, even though I don't have a whole lot of resources. It's going to take time to get back to the castle. Maybe I find something out here. You got to take your chance at finding something at some point. That Deathwalk is not necessarily going to help you out a whole lot because you might just get Blue Dragoned again while you're there.
Yeah, and we saw, I just said probably the worst possible spike would have been the Golem, and that's what's there. It's not technically unkillable, but it's not a smart fight to take, especially if you don't have a ton of defense. 69 hit points, you're double heal mooring most of the time. Even with Brian's 99 AP, it's probably, a 6-swing fight. Ugh.
Yeah, and especially when you have hurt more, until you've got more attack power, just hurt more. These Magiwyverns are a much, much more helpful target. Unfortunately for Brian, he is out of MP, and he is not going the way towards Garanham.
I think we've seen DK head this way already, so... I think so. I'm not 100% sure, so we might end up with a whole lot of nothing here. I don't know if he has herbs or not, or if he's thinking about it. He might just take the death, because again, he knows he came in pretty weak. He sees a cave! I don't think we've seen this cave, so maybe DK hasn't went this way. He is getting to the town that he's seen already, though. No wolf this time, just a little drakey. Little bat.
Brian is not using any herbs, so I don't know if that's because he doesn't want to waste resources, or that he doesn't have them, and it appears he does not have them.
Mountain cave. Hey, it's a rogue scorpion. You can fight. No, it's not. So DK finds coal, buys the hand axe, does not check the search spot yet. Setting up a potential manip to get the sword. And nothing. Coal, you're a disappointment. All of that effort, but Brian finds a key! Oh my gosh!
Wow, DK gets all the exploration, yet Brian just really gave himself a chance for something special.
That is massive. That helps out so much. That gives him some extra use out of this whole dive, even if he found nothing else. But he is finding other things. Found a torch. It's a super useful torch. It's just, you know...
Fantastic walk there at the end. And all just gold, but still, what a great time to hobble through on 5 HP through the entire mountain cave and get yourself a key.
So, I don't know. Do you want to die here? I think you just want to die. Yeah. Kill me.
See, the thing is, if you're going to walk back and forth to die, you might as well go ahead and walk out and see if you can't get a few more steps. You know, there's no benefit. Oh no, never mind. What I'm thinking, gold grind.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Have we seen something worth gold grinding? I don't recall.
I think we saw. I think one of the Charlotte. I mean, you don't know what's in the other Cantland area, but I would expect that you're gonna find just about everything. And the way the seed is, gold grind, even almost an hour into the race, is still pretty good. If you can start repelling a bunch of stuff and just hurt more, whatever you feel like. That's the dream. Even if it takes you, 5-6 minutes to set it up, which is pretty much what it does.
Yeah, and beyond that, we haven't seen the keylock shop in Cantland yet, so you probably go ahead and do it anyway, because if that has all the stuff, then you're going to be super happy. You know, you don't want to have to reset up the gold grind again. However, Mountain had a lot of gold chests, and Top Grave had a gold chest, so there's a very high probability there is no grind available here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, just by what you said, so many gold chests already. I did see the jerk in the basement. I do want to point out, sometimes we talk about, what should you do first, the basement or the treasury? And the biggest key for me is always, do you have the harp? Oh, we find a mail droll, which is the flute. Congratulations, Brian, you have the flute. And Erdrick's armor. And Erdrick's armor again, which is actually fairy water. And gold. There's our gold grind. He did get a gold chest.
Wow, so... Oh, no, he is not going to build that grind up. He's going to set himself up for... I'm not sure what he's setting himself up for there, honestly. What the 3200 was for.
I think he started to do it, and then he realized he got the armor, and now he doesn't care anymore. I think that's literally what it was. He's like, I don't care about getting a silver. If you haven't seen a silver, it makes sense. But I imagine initially he was probably thinking getting like a full plate or magic armor. I don't think we saw... we didn't see a flame sword in here. He's got Hurt More. Brian is somebody who actually does not highly value attack power with Hurt More. He's mentioned this before, that like if he has Hurt More and you have the chance between buying like a hand axe or a full plate or half plate or anything like that, he'll take the armor.
Yeah, because he already has the broadsword, it makes more sense, because the difference between those two is only 8. But I rarely will pass up the opportunity for a silver shield, but also he doesn't know that whether or not there's a silver shield. And if you don't know that, do you really want to sit there and grind for 15,000 gold that you're probably going to lose?
So it's strange. Brian, in his first real exploration push, ends up full clearing mountain. Okay, 14 north to 0 east. Easy count. Glad you got the reverse setup. But yeah. Also want to point out, Big Slamu joins the chat and asks if he missed anything. The exact moment on my screen that Brian Williams is checking radishes. So, conspiracy? Yeah, DK has picked up level 13, and his exploration, it's just the contrary, like the difference in exploration here, that Brian's exploration paid off immediately, while DK is still trying to find something useful with all of this. He's gotten, a little bit of equipment upgrades, but he doesn't have keys. It's just the fact that Brian went that direction and got everything is putting him, even though he's behind in experience, in such a huge lead as far as gear and equipment and, generally speaking, progression.
Yeah, nothing special in that the keylocked shop, so the not going anything high ended up being the good play.
Let's see if you can do the count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there we go. Stones of Sunlight. So, key item necessary. Really, the best thing out of all that was getting the armor out of the treasury. There's so much swamp along the way, and there's such a long walk to get stuff you really need all those resources maxed out as much as you can.
Yeah, not having to deal with this swamp now is going to be a massive boon to Brian in this exploration. Again, especially with that extra defense power, the red dragon's obviously still going to red dragon, but everything else is generally going to be pretty safe.
Yeah, and there we go, straight to Hawksness. He's only got 69 HP, but he's got Keelmore and the flute, and 99 attack power. This is definitely the play. With this, I'll have 2 out of 3 searches, and we know that Cole has nothing. He doesn't know that yet, but... I mean, what's even, like, Garanham? Because we're still missing the harp and the token, and the death necklace, or whatever that's worth. Sword. The actual options of places where things can be is starting to dwindle pretty dramatically.
Yeah, I think we have the back of Garanham, the Tablet Cave, did we see Stone's Cave? I think we did. And
I don't actually think so. I can't place what was there.
Okay, we haven't seen Stone's Cave, and then there's Bottom Grave. Oh yeah, Remoldar chest too. So we've got a few, just all sorts of different places.
You are right. Yeah, he did go into Stone's Cave. I think it was along the way to Cole. I don't think there was anything in there though.
Getting that fairy flute could potentially be huge here. If nothing else, he could potentially get himself to level 13 here if he wanted to. I don't think he will because of Hurtmore there, but the tease.
And I would take one more. This makes sense. Like, it wouldn't matter what this enemy was. This is a blue dragon or stone man. I would probably still just fight one more just because I want to get the level as soon as possible. Just for the info, because you're not really at a point where the levels are going to change a whole lot of what you're doing, and from what we've seen, level 13 is not amazing. 6 agility.
I mean, if you want to keep critting those golems like that, I'd keep at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's true too. Did pick up Stop Spell. Forgot. Been kind of looking at the difference between the 2 streams. DK is still with the experience lead, but his exploration is just going the wrong direction. Unless he finds Rim in the direction he's going, which is possible. Are we getting Mercy rolled off of the blue dragon? I think we did. That's rough. Blue dragon, I mean, you have 56 agility, you're a favorite. You're not a massive favorite. Blue dragon is the hardest thing to run from that isn't a special case. And he sees a town. I'm trying to think. I don't think we've seen this one. Oh. Well.
We do have a Silver Shield sighting all the way over here. We'll see if DK decides to Death Warp out of Mountain Cave and get that Silver Shield. I have no concept of where all DK has been on the map and how far Breckenary is from anything, and if you'd want to risk that, or even if you'd want to go back to that part of the map again. But it's at least there.
Yeah, I don't, you're not super sad to see it. It's just, I need Rim. I need Rim. It's like the only thing that's probably going through his head right now. I need keys because time goes on every minute. It's just ticking on that. And keys can, like, you've seen everything that needs keys. So you know that you're basically being blocked from continuing to play the seed, so to speak, by that. And, Yeah, so it's Mountain Cave or Rim, and Rim does have to, you know, exist. So he may find that first. I mean, I think Rim has to exist. Coal, we're not so sure, but Rim should be there somewhere. Oh.
I don't mind the grind that Brian is doing or was doing, but I am a little surprised that he wants to drain his resource, or is wanting to drain his resources this much without knowing where the Dix town is, because he hasn't seen Garenham yet, and he's traveled to the east where he found the mountain cave, but he hasn't traveled north yet, and so he's going to be trying to make this walk on very little resources without knowing how far he needs to go.
Oh, he does. He's going the right direction, but he's going to get a little bit distracted by Grave. I can't see a scenario where he deep dives this, even though it might be necessary. Just with 5 MP, it feels like you're hoping for another Death Warp or something. So DK is back to Breck. Back to Breck sounds like a depressing middle chapter of a story. It's like we went to try to beat the Dragon Lord and we failed, and now we're back in Breck. Yeah, except instead of it being like a hardcore rock song, it's just sad. And now we're back in Breck. Oh, look! Look! That has to be Rim, right? It can't be anything else.
The Back in Breck ballad.
Amy Winehouse. That's a cut. Yeah, I think we've seen every other town. So he is about to get his key access and to be freed. The keys are unlocking the seed for him because everything is that he needed is trapped behind it. So, you know, that's what Breck's good for. It's good for making you go back to heal for it and then going the right direction, I guess. I believe Brian has found Garenham, and we'll get to see what's in the back door of Garenham here in just a minute. Brian checking the shop for some reason. I would actually think
maybe he's still thinking silver now that he knows there's a gold grind, or flame even. I don't know. I'm surprised by that decision. Honestly, I figured he'd think he was done.
I don't know. I get a lot of heat for shop time and town time sometimes. So when I notice other people do it, it pops in my head. All right. Oh, Rim is important. Silver Harp on DK's side. So far, Brian has found nothing useful. Yep, Garenham's town hall, or whatever you want to call that. It's pretty sad today.
Rimmleton also has Flame Sword if you want it. So DK, if he sets the gold grind up out of Mountain, knows where all the good stuff is. And there is the Staff Trade-In Cave for Brian behind Garenham, who does not have the harp.
So, yeah, so Deep Grave at best would have the Death Necklace, so if anyone dives that, that's probably just going to be pain for them.
They still need Erdrick Swords, so...
right.
That you have, and at this point, I think we have Deep Grave and Tablet as the only outstanding checks.
Yes, sorry, I forgot about the sword. See, the broadsword just looks so nice on the tracker. I don't want to replace it.
I mean, I've seen people kill the Dragon Lord with a broadsword before, so...
Yeah. Watched Beta Strep kill the Dragon Lord with no equipment once. Not in a rando seed, though. Although I imagine it might be easier? I don't know. Oh, wait, no.
I feel like
it would not.
I feel like somebody has agreed to a race where they weren't going to buy any equipment and went all the way with it. But I have no idea who that somebody would be.
We have had, this did not happen last year, but we've had multiple third place races. One of them, well, actually, I think both of them DK was in, actually. The first one was progressive weapons, where you could only buy a weapon if you bought the one below it. And if you found Erdrick's sword, you had to reset or immediately sell it until you went up. And that one wound up being an issue because I don't think there was every weapon in the game. And then the next
There was
year,
a bamboo pole. It was just like an hour and a half out.
Ah, okay, that's what it was. So almost simultaneous level 14s for both of them. 14s. Yeah, so the stats they're getting there. That one wasn't bad. Strength is definitely in line with winning the MP. I mean, right now, the strength MP isn't quite enough if you just looked at those two, but it's getting close. I know we had 15 up for a second. I didn't look close enough to know, but I'm going to guess at this point it's probably 2 more levels just based off of the hit points being an issue.
Now, there's a strategic question for you. So, let's suppose that we check the other locations, they aren't sword. Or, maybe you don't even decide to check those. Do you consider diving Sharlock early for the sword, given that the golem grind is your ideal grind, and the sword would speed that up dramatically?
No. I think if my attack power were considerably lower, I might do that. But 111 versus 131 is likely just going to be a swing on average, and the amount of time it takes to go down and get the sword is pretty tremendous. So, also, if I decide to dive and grind, I'm more than likely going to get go mode at this point. Like, there's too many things that point that, like, just being more efficient to just get the level and go, I think. But if the stats were much further away, like, again, really, if we had like 20 to 30 less strength, I think that would be a serious consideration.
So Brian did just get the harp out of Remeldar. He's still looking for the tablet cave, and still looking for... No, he's seen great. I think that might be all he has left of note. He hasn't seen Cole yet.
No,
DK saw Cole.
Yeah, he didn't see Cole. He didn't see the Stones Cave. So those were a bit of a walk. They weren't quite as much as I thought before, but it's a little bit of a walk. So might have to see him go that direction. But if I were him, I would be going directly back to Garenham, turning that harp, get that done with.
I believe this is Brecken area that he's coming across now.
Maybe we'll see a Brexit. DK finds Mountain Cave though. Again, he doesn't actually need this for anything. The only thing was here was a key, and he's already got it. But this completes DK's exploration, I believe. So he will gladly take a death out of here and do all the stuff that he has to do at home.
Still has tablet outstanding, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting about tablet. Very, very important tablet cave.
Tablet's very forgettable.
Yeah.
But I will say, in this tournament, I have watched a number of people get themselves into trouble by refusing to dive tablet because, if you don't have outside, it's like a minute something to go in and out, I think, or maybe slightly under a minute to go in and out and do it, and so people try to avoid it, but I've watched key items be there a lot, and they get burned by it, so tablet can definitely still be a thing.
Yeah, I think the era of people skipping tablet is kind of dying, especially since we've had permatorch now, and that used to be an excuse to not dive it, is I don't have a torch, I don't want to try to dark walk this, that sort of thing. And there were high level players that would do that too. I remember Beta Strep in particular was like, I'm not dark walking that cave unless I absolutely have to. And now that that's kind of out, one of the biggest reasons to not do it has disappeared. So now really the only reason to skip it is just like you're just absolutely, like, almost completely sure that there's nothing there and you're really fighting for seconds.
DK going at another metal slime here. We'll see what happens.
I think I skipped tablet in one of the asyncs, but it was because I saw a town once I walked in, and I'm like, I'm gonna check the town first. And then the town had the thing that I wanted, so I never went back. That's like a calculated decision, not just a knee-jerk, ew, gross. Oh. DK might walk out.
Having said all that, if I die at any point during this exploration, I am not going back to. I am not looking for tablet. I am going to. I mean, I would probably do a dive and grind to see if I could find sword down there to know it's there, rather than waste my time wandering around the world looking for tablet and trying to. And wasting the time to deep dive grave, because that's a pretty decent time sink as it is.
So DK now into the treasury, gets himself that Erdrick's armor and the fairy flute. He has changed. He is a changed man now. He used to be the biggest flute hater. Now he loves the flute, or at least pretends to. He's going to see the Jerk Cave here in the back. Brian is going to turn this in. I wonder if he will return immediately to get the drop done, because then he won't have to ever go back to start. And he does not. My consideration was just because the places he hasn't explored yet, you can get to fairly easily from the starting location. So.
Has he seen Sherlock yet? I know DK has, but I don't recall Brian having seen it yet.
I think it was in the general direction of, like, the southern direction, I think, was where all the stuff that we were missing for Brian are. So if I remember right, I think it was southeast when he saw Sherlock, and then kind of curled around to find coal in the Stones Cave, I think, was along the way. Brian is going more back to where Mountain was. He did die out of Mountain, so, you know, getting this information, this is a hole in his exploration. It's a really big space. Yeah, look, that cave. Look at that cave. There's our tablet cave. I was just going to comment about how big that whole northeast was, where there was just no rivers or anything, and so if this is the sword, this could be very brutal for DK, because I'm pretty sure he didn't see it, and it's a hard thing to find. Like, the thing in the middle of a bunch of just land sucks.
But it is only wings, so even if DK never finds it, not going to be a big deal. So now I imagine Brian's going to book it right back to the grave. And check that out, and then after getting that, oh, he still hasn't found coal.
Yeah, and coal could be it for him, so it's not, but he could think it is. So actually, it would be better for him if he went to grave first, just because if the sword is in there, then he doesn't even have to find coal, and that'd be a huge time save, and he's literally right next to the grind and town and all that. Yeah, DK now with the flute, he's going to go in and punch some golems. Yeah, as much as Brian seemed like he was ahead, just the fact that DK doesn't have to do the things that Brian still has to do to find them. Again, the only way for him to really short this is if he went to Deep Grave. And I don't think that's on his mind as something to do right away. Yeah, he sees Mountain, he knows where he is now. He's checking this gigantic center of the map, which is for things he's missed. I think this is the time where I should change the audio, since we're just hearing the flute. Just kidding.
The flute always is interesting to me, because that very last note of it is always like, it's like 3 cents too sharp, and it just sounds a little weird.
Yeah, we do have the, there was something we were trying to get in for this tournament as an option, but it didn't happen for a couple of reasons. But on the Juif branch, there is alternate music possible. And we thought about trying to filter that in. That was a little bit more work than what it looked like. Plus, yeah, I don't think there's going to be a huge hullabaloo about it, but some people might not like it because it does alter the length of the songs. But,
Yeah, definitely put, changing it in such a way that it's beneficial to the person who puts on the alternate sounds is generally disfavored. If you want to give yourself a disadvantage for it, then go for it. But to give yourself a potential advantage by a shorter song is generally disfavored.
yeah, I mean, if we did it, it would be the same for everyone, similar to what you see from some other randomizers with different things like that. It would be something that would be on for everybody or off for everybody. But now, did Brian not get the rainbow drop?
He did.
Okay, sorry, I missed it a little bit. I saw him die. I didn't see if he went around. That's good. Sorry, Shahali, I'm not calling you out. I just didn't see that he did it. I started to panic. Because I was surprised he didn't go back there right away, to be honest. And DK is having a heck of a time with this golem. It is not cooperating.
He did get the token, though,
Okay.
already. He did search it, so he knows it's there. He's just getting more experience. Probably trying to figure out, does he want to gamble with Sword and Sharlock rather than look for a tablet cave?
Yeah, playing with golems is something to do while you think about stuff like that, for sure. He's going to be one away from a level. Might as well just get it. It's the same thing. Well, Brian actually went a little bit harder than that, but just go until you get a level. Worry about the rest of stuff later.
Oh, I thought he was trying to death warp for some reason, because he accidentally used the fighter's ring instead of the fairy flute.
I missed that. Man, I'm missing all of the stuff. I'm, like, behind somehow. Missing all of the cool stuff. Well, I mean, I don't know if I would call using the fighter's ring as a cool thing, but I'm sure he didn't appreciate it too much.
Plus, if you want to death warp on a golem, you don't need the fighter's ring to do it.
Right. Okay, so Brian has found this bridge to the south. He was doing a lot of pacing back and forth, which leads to Stone's Cave, which I think we know is not much of anything. Yeah, torch. You can't even use the torch to get rid of it here. Wait, level 15 comes with a ton of MP. Finally got our last spells, but not enough HP to do much, unfortunately. But this is with the sword, this is go mode. If you had the hit points. The agility's awful too, but this is winnable at 133 with 13 heal mores. DK has no there. I was gonna say Garenham was a little bit further away than I remembered. I thought he was going the wrong direction for a second. See, Sherlock, all that's left is Cole. At that point, he will be going. But DK here got the experience lead, and he's got some towns stuff to do. He's got to turn this in. He might warp back immediately for the rainbow drop. He might just go to Grave, because I think he has to know that's the only two things he can do at this point. Rather than going back.
And since I believe Cole is going to be right around here, they will kind of converge on the grave dive pretty close to each other.
Yeah, and again, they could choose to not do it, but generally speaking, I think the only time you skip Deep Grave for a Sharlock check is when you're already in go mode, or Grave is way over there and you don't want to have to waste all the time going back. It is the higher odds play to check Sherlock. It's a lot. The investment for Grave has to be increased by some dramatic amount to make it worthwhile. Now, Brian knows it's Deep Grave or Sherlock. DK already knows it's Deep Grave or Sherlock. And 500 experience separate the two. And one rainbow drop, which DK can really just do whenever he feels like it.
So now we'll see if Brian is going to head towards Grave or if we're going to head towards Golem and gamble.
I wonder, would you swing around to Cole to go to Sherlock, or would you just take the long walk from, I'm guessing, Garenham? I think you just walk from Garenham, right?
It depends. I mean, I'd probably get Fairy Waters from Breckenary beforehand for Repel, and if I have the Fairy Waters, Garenham seems perfectly reasonable to me.
Alright, well, we see Brian is in Deep Grave. He got there first, actually. I thought it would be the opposite. And the fact that he already has the Rainbow Drop means one less thing he has to do. This experience gap doesn't mean a whole lot. That's 2 golems, and I think it'll be faster for him to kill 2 golems than it will be to do this. I think that. I don't know for sure, because the golem fights are... You know, actually, what is DK doing?
He's still looking for Tablet. He has not found that yet.
We forgot about Tablet. Shoot.
So he's looking for that. I mean, I don't have a sense for how... I mean, he's explored a whole lot of the map, so we should have a general idea of where it is at. There, no, it is right there. So it's going to end up being pretty close. Big difference between DK and Brian is Brian never has to go back to the first continent, and DK still does.
Yeah, that's going to eat up a little bit over a minute. It will be interesting to see how they decide to fight these golems, too. 72 hit points with the defense isn't super high. You want to not have to use the flute, but the flute is still the greater efficiency up to a point.
If you might have a chance you have to double heal more, then I've got to use the flute every time. It's once the HP gets to like the 90 range, that's to me where things get more interesting, because you can just do Dragon Lord strats on it, but you know, is that more efficient? Well, there's something. The Death Necklace is in Deep Grave, but that means the sword is in Sherlock. So Brian's gonna go kill some golems until he's ready to be in go mode with the sword.
Yeah, and as chat's pointing out, I think this is advantage for him. But we'll see. I mean, Garenham's a little bit of a distance away, too. If Garenham was right next to Hawksness, I think I would just abandon the Fairy Flute entirely. But the fact that you gotta walk, 40 steps is a little less pleasant, so. We got chat already calling out the chest location that we could have the sword in. We see somebody saying Judge's Table, of course. 150, 300, 250. I'm with Miplet. I always say 250 because if you do the standard chest search, it's the last one that you check, and it's the one that puts the biggest pressure. Like, oh crap. Like, I gotta go down. Like, okay. Whew.
Well, if this golem continues to be as uncooperative as it is, DK is going to be done before Brian finally gets it down.
And there we go. DK gets the Tie of Doom, and Brian gets level 15. So yeah, that's still advantage DK. Thought maybe there would be a little bit more, but DK didn't really see anything in Grave at all, and that made that go by real quick.
This is always a situation that can be frustrating to the runner where HP is the only stat left, because you're like, I'm in go mode, but at the same time you also know, hey, I know where my go mode is. You have 71 defense, so you're not gonna cut it probably under 97. Sometimes if you had more defense, you might try to cut it a little low, but you're just sitting here waiting for a number to go to a certain spot. It's not even a decision-making process. It's just a time process now.
Yeah, and another thing that could come up with this is just when the cycles end. This is something we saw come up. I think it was in. Trying to think. If somebody Venicus was racing, it might have been you. No, I don't think it was you. I think it was somebody else. I think it was Juef, where they were basically even for a while. There was some difference in how they decided to heal town, but the fact that Juef finished just perfect, like 0 MP, got the level, it was go. And that isn't, Venicus ended up 2 kills short and ended up taking some kind of detours as a result. Separated the two by quite a bit when it didn't seem like it was at all. And that could happen in this with the fact that they are essentially even in experience but different with MP. The cycles could, orient that way, where somebody has to go get 2 more kills to get the level. That's go, where somebody just gets it kind of naturally.
Chat making a good point here that DK isn't going to have to bother with the refill the first time, because he's going to be going back to, he's going to death warp to get the drop on his way back, and so the amount of time it's going to take Brian to go to and from Garretham, DK is going to get that autofill and be able to dedicate all that to drop pickup and getting back, so it probably won't be as big of a time loss as it could be otherwise.
Yeah, and that's it's a good way to kind of eat into what is going to be a bit of a time loss at this point. I say like they don't know where the race is without the other runner, but I'm trying to think if there's going to be anything different with the levels that they're getting. Doing some really big math here, but nah, they both have to kill. DK has to kill 3 more. Brian has to kill 2 more. And they both hit those, they'll clear that easily. So there's nothing to do with like slight differences in experience causing them to take an extra fight or anything. Castle to Hawks with Repel. I feel like it's a little bit longer than that. But yeah, again, if Swamp were south and north were flipped, that would save cool 25-30 seconds. There are enemies that they can still fight with Repel up. We did see a green dragon in Swamp. Blue dragons were in the zone.
And red dragons were around there too, somewhere around the outside of Swamp too, so...
Yeah. Well, I think that one, I think the zone might be different, because I don't think we ever saw them with people just going east. They had to specifically go south. Of course, if you see a red dragon and you're not in go, you just eat that guy. It's, the same as this, except you can't flute, but then also you kill him faster.
Yeah, right now the Golem and the Reds can hit you for up to 43, and at 72 HP, I mean, you can go through it, but it's gonna be a lot of heal mores to blow through. But I imagine at next level, hopefully they'll get at least some experience, and then absolutely I would go there. I still think I'd probably swing, just because my agility's low, and I might lose enough resources just from trying to get out of there. So, if I'm gonna run heal more or attack heal more, well, let's attack heal more.
And now we see...
And here we go!
Yep. Drum roll.
1, 2, 4, 5.
Sigh.
Brian gonna go back, get a refill real fast, and oh, never mind. Gonna keep pushing it.
Yeah. 76, I would make a strong argument for not fluting. I don't know. 72 DP again, not great. This puts it at what, 42 that you can be hit?
Yeah, 42. So you're typically gonna be able to survive the attack. Not always, but typically. Yeah, I hate doing flute strats if I don't have to, but at this HP, it's hard for me not to, because you have to consider all the extra. There is an element of the amount of time you save between your attacks for him being asleep versus not. What I often do in situations like this is I throw one fairy flute out. And if he wakes up, then I say, okay, this one's going down without the fairy flute. That gives you the chance to get the benefits of the being asleep without having to play the fairy flute 30 times.
Right. That's something that I remember making kind of a strat in my head in the way back. I kind of went away from it just because I think I don't like to overthink my grinds. I start like pausing randomly and making mistakes, and it's probably more efficient for me to do something slightly... It's strange to say it. It might be more efficient for me to do something that is ultimately less efficient, just because I'm not getting like confused or having to think about what it is I'm doing, and can just kind of, you know, make it a rote mechanism. I actually get this way a little bit with the Dragon Lord fights, that Brian is taking a death here. Or not. No, he still died.
Alright.
It's a bit of a walk. I don't know. Maybe he... You know, Garanham isn't exactly close, but I don't feel like this is closer. DK taking the death isn't surprising, because he has business to do back here. I don't know. I guess it's not quite that long to swamp. I don't know. I think it's a decent strat though. You know, I don't think it's at worst I think it's within the margin of consideration. I don't know. It does take a bit of an effort to go there. You're not getting gold from the golem, so it's not like you can possibly save up for silver or any nonsense.
Yeah, I still feel like the time difference is going to be in favor of going to the town, but I can't say that confidently, and I'm going to say our runners have a better idea of exactly how far things are than I do. I know Garanham's somewhere up there north, but you know, Brian probably has a much better feel than I do into how this is going to go. And man, Hawkins is so close to the cave. Yeah, I don't know. It's tight, but it's tight.
Now, I would say I would favor Garanham just because the fact that Brian ate 2 encounters, which weren't terrible, but they're not as efficient as the golem, and I would rather spend the time on the golem. But we'll see. I mean, well, like I said, I think it's within the conversation. It's not something that, you know, us elite DWR players can be like tisk tisk or something.
Absolutely. Also, I don't know what monsters are between here and Garanham, because it's very possible he could have had the same number of encounters going that way.
That's actually, I don't think I've seen much of anything that direction, so that's kind of what I was thinking. The reason why I was actually wanting to favor that is I don't remember seeing anything. Now, of course, the first time they do that and they run into some stupid belligerent blue dragon, then, you know, I eat my hat, so to speak. That experience might be faster than the golem, to be honest. Again, once you're using the flute on this guy, it slows this fight down tremendously. To the point where it's kind of, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't like leaving my fate up to the flute staying and working. And, you know, as much as DK right now seems to be loving the flute, I'm pretty sure he's not feeling that way in this fight, as he's been on this same fight for a while. Oh, there it is. Stay asleep for a round.
One of our spreadsheet guys should do an analysis of this to see what the time difference between strats are and where the line is, because I'm sure there is a mathematical probability way to do that we've never had anybody in the community put out.
Yeah, I get some of the stuff I don't like to dig into. I guess I'm technically a spreadsheet guy, although I usually don't bother with stuff like this. So I tried digging into Dragon Lord 1 math once, like at what point do you just pre-equip the Death Necklace? You know, how often should you expect to see a stop spell, like how many swings and so on. I did the math for that and I didn't have any idea what to do with it afterward. I was like, alright, well, I don't know. I see the math. I don't, this doesn't tell me what to do. Man, like, look at the experience gap here. Brian came in, when DK started his first fight, he was ahead by 400, I think. And now it's 1300, and that's basically just flute luck. Like, right there, Brian. cream that golem. DK, fluting.
And 11, 25, 5, we are out.
Yeah, that is go mode. That is, again, once you get the sword, 15 heal mores on what will be 134 attack power. That should, by my charts, put you at a +3. You might even say +4, because my charts aim fairly high, and one less swing would still do like 160 damage. So.
My chart says if you get 13 swings, you have a 64% chance of winning. 14 swings, you have a 93% chance of winning. 15 swings, it's at 99. So with 15 heal mores, the odds that you're going to get at least 13 or 14 swings, I have trouble seeing this going poorly.
Yeah, it's just going to come down to, is Sharlock a problem? And, review our Sharlock enemies. What have we seen that could be a problem? We haven't seen much of the Red Dragon, so we don't really know, but it seems like they're fine. Have we seen Armor Knights?
All we've seen from Red Dragons is swinging so far. I think that's all we've seen from Blue Dragons. I don't know if we've seen an attack from the Green Dragon. I don't recall having seen an Armored Knight. The Axe Knights have heal, but that's not particularly anything special. So I don't know that we've seen a move from an offensive move from a Sharlock monster yet.
Yeah, so I don't know. It come down to run blocks again. 75 agility isn't great, but we do have unique to this tournament, the tournament edition of this. What is, I believe, first Jouef called the Safer DW1 run, which utilizes the automatic run after 3 failed attempts. Nowadays, I think we just keep calling it the Mercy rule because it seems appropriate. Like, alright, we've implemented this rule to have mercy when the game decides that it wants to be a complete jerk.
I think it is important to note that after Brian tried to sleep the hills earlier, he now just tried to light them on fire with a torch.
He's having fun, I'm sure. Okay, first enemy Stone Man. And yeah, look, DK is still... Yeah, I'm gonna switch the audio here. He's just still suffering with the same enemy, and it's just... What do you do?
So this is where you just have to... we were talking about the flute, no flute strats. One of the things that can look at with that is when you do flute strats, the amount of time the battle can take is highly variable. When you don't do flute strats, it's relatively consistent. So the question is, do I want to waste 8 seconds for the chance the battle could go an extra 15 seconds faster? I'm just making up numbers here, but, or do I want to have a battle that's going to last 20 seconds, but, I know it's going to end somewhere around there. And again, I'm making up numbers here. I don't know the actual lengths of the battle, but there's an element of there's, you can do a consistent number, or you can do a variable number that could go better or worse. And that's kind of like the decision Brian's got to make here with Judge's Table. I actually just did some analysis of that yesterday and said that, and it's about an extra 3 encounters if you go Judge's Table first. So it is mathematically better to go to the Treasury first, but if it is at Judges, you have to add a whole lot of negative time to that. With Judges, you are guaranteeing lost time, but it caps out at a certain point. So it's always something to consider about, would you prefer consistency or better average luck?
Yeah, chat was pointing out something that DK was doing, trying to get one more kill so he could get the level, because I think if he was just fighting the golem straight up, he would have had trouble killing 2 of them. Brian, I think, just got mercy rolled there on the Armored Knight, gets away,
yes,
blows the heal
that
more.
was number 4.
And we've seen Armored Knights in both of the first 2 zones, so it's not been, when we brought it up, it hasn't been easy. He's still in fine shape, so he's still really strong favorites. DK goes to heal up here. It looks like Brian has chosen to go down to the basement first. 6 of the 7 checks are there. And we have red dragons in the basement. Wonderful.
So we definitely have potential resource drains going through. It's just that they will have to drain a lot of resources to cause problems for our runners at these stats.
And he's been pretty aggressive using those herbs. That's something that I expect to see more out of runners. Yeah, throwing the flute out here doesn't want to take any damage. I think he's pretty nervous about this, where I don't know that he necessarily needs to be, but keeping the hit points up a lot higher than normal. We've seen a little bit of that, which has cost some people heal mores in the basement because they've been so aggressive using herbs early on to avoid, to force, if things happen, to not have to heal more before the mercy roll kicks into effect.
Yeah, keeping yourself topped up is so much more important with the mercy rule, because you can often avoid having to heal more in battle, which saves you a lot of HP in general.
So
whoever, and we have the $50 chest.
Yes, whoever said $50 gets nothing but my congratulations. Good job. You, whoever you were, didn't keep track.
And Brian does full clear the treasury so that he can find one more herb. Now he is getting a little more aggressive because he did not flute that golem.
Yeah, again, I think if he runs the math, he's still a heavy favorite, and you have no idea how close this is, and it could be super close. Again, DK picked up 17, and on the way here, I'm not even sure if it was the mercy roll, but he almost got taken out by a red dragon. If I were him, I probably would have just tried to run anyway, at no hit points, because I wouldn't be willing to take a heal more before I even get in there, but got away.
And we do finally see some moves from our green dragon, and it appears like everybody else here to just be swing happy. So we the Sherlock was pretty brute force today.
Yeah. There is one other thing that could come up, just to be aware of it. With 101 hit points and 77 defense, they can be hit for 51. So with a weak heal more, there might be a scenario where you might possibly have to burn 2. Maybe that has been why Brian has been a little hesitant to just kind of burn through some of this stuff.
But he gets 2 stop spells, which is just fantastic.
Unfortunately, hurt more on the 3rd, but he's not worried about the herbs. He's just swinging.
Yeah, given his first 2 swings, it's unfortunate that the 3rd one didn't kill him, but we do get the back attack.
So that +3 we started out with, maybe +4, is now down to a +1. A little bit more tight, and the rolls are... He's now subject if the rolls go really bad.
So we've got 11.
He is swinging 8 to 17.
27.
Nice comeback from the first one.
42. 57.
I just keep looking at the hit points after when you heal more, is how deep it is.
67.
The lower it goes, the more you're relying on the heal mores to actually roll high. Sometimes you get caught.
76. 'Fortunate swing. 93.
It's a good roll.
102. 117.
Yeah, he's definitely on pace here. He's had some decent rolls, no mistakes, looking really good.
127.
That is...
Swings there, dangerous.
yeah, but he gets it. Let's see. This is
140.
Bad heal more. Oof. Yeah, you double heal more at 140. You're probably okay if you don't risk that. He would have survived though.
154. This hit almost guaranteed to do it.
Yeah, we had to take double 51s to take him out. But there we go. Congratulations, brianwilliams42 with the win. We'll be coming in first in our race here in just a moment.
167 is the grand total we did, so somewhere between 155 and 165 hit points has the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, it was a really well-run seed. He struggled a little bit at the start, but found the better grind, was able to push through, and just happened to really... I mean, he got to the keys first, and that helped a lot. Armor helped him to explore. And for the most part, he found the more important things quicker and didn't take as many deaths. I think the difference here is DK took a lot of deaths on the way to try to find things while Brian was kind of hunkered down. And when they were both actually able to explore a little bit better with Hurt More and such, Brian was just able to find the stuff that DK didn't really find. And bad golem luck, too.
DK gets mercy ruled on an Axe Knight shortly beforehand, so he's gonna be down 2 heal mores from max going into the Dragon Lord.
I've sent out an invitation to Brian if he wants to go. Let's flip the music back. We don't need to hear that.
Yeah, if DK didn't like the flute before now, he's certainly not going to like the flute now, because it did not treat him well in this seat.
Yeah, he's starting this fight a little bit behind where Brian was. Your Tilo. Brian is the person he raised. Swings on 11, but he's 1 heal more back. If he doesn't lose a heal more, he should be fine. If he does, it's going to be close.
I will be very disappointed if DK does not throw out a Hurt More. I mean, it's the group, right? And he's already, he's already behind, so we deserve to see a Hurt More throw.
Groups chose him. He didn't choose the group. So. Oh, we are counting here. We do have Brian in chat. I think we're going to focus on the rest of this race here. But, give us just a little bit. And I've lost track of the count completely.
Yeah, I have as well, so I'm not sure where he is. I haven't seen a lot of single digits, though, so that's at least fortunate, and he's getting better heal mores and swings than Brian, and as I say that, he gets a 9.
And stream stops.
And the Dragon Lord just ate his stream.
Let's kick it. I don't know, this might be my internet. I've mentioned before my internet likes to do funky things sometimes when I'm stressing it too much. I say stressing it, I don't think it's too stressful to have 2 streams open and to, watch one, but whatever. Now, the rules do seem to bounce back. He had an awful start, but the average here is, what, 12-13, so... Almost through. Last heal more. It's got 2 swings left. 3 if things really went his way, but doesn't look like that. Final swing!
And it's down. I did not expect both of you to come down to a final swing, although I guess Brian did actually have one more swing to go because Dragon Lord rolled low that last time. But, man, I didn't expect either of them to go to last heal more. That was pretty rough on both of them.
Indeed. And GG's out to DK for finishing the race. Again, not too terribly far behind Brian. Lost a little bit of time there at the end, but Really, this race was back and forth the entire time. And I say that we do have Brian Williams in the booth with us. GG, sir, congratulations. What are your thoughts about the seed?
Thank you. Yeah, and GG to DK. My thoughts are this is a seed that DK and I both are really happy with. So much flute playing. Art was just unbelievably impossible to figure out and deadly, so I really had to work for this. And yeah, good seed to match up on.
Indeed. And yeah, so it seemed like you got a little bit of struggle at the start. What were your thoughts about grinding versus exploration once you could move around and you saw the other side of swamp? I think you ran into a red dragon right away, but after that it seemed like you kind of hunkered down. What were you thinking in terms of that?
Yeah, I mean, so there was the signal was the metal slime. So when I came out the other end of Swamp Cave and I saw the metal slime, I knew it was the same zone that had the red dragon, the star wyvern, and all that stuff that kept me from even seeing Cantlin to start. And I did not want to get through Swamp Cave just to die to a red dragon over and over again on the other side. So I decided I wasn't going to go all the way through until I had a pretty good chance of making it, because I went like 10 steps and still got a red dragon. So I was like, this is, other side is just as deadly as where I am, so I'm going to just stay at home.
Yeah, that seemed like, honestly, there was a pretty big gap at that point in experience, and it wasn't the way you would expect. Actually, DK was way ahead of you, and he was just pushing out pretty hard on the exploration, but it wound up that he got a couple of metal slimes that just slingshotted him ahead, and you were chasing him down for most of the seed after that.
I was pretty worried. I was pretty worried he'd get one of those red slimes or metal slimes on the way to Cantlin, even, right? Because you could definitely get it easily.
I think he saw the red dragon there. I don't think he saw the metal slimes, but he did. They were in. I think that same zone was actually near Swamp Cave on the other side, because I think you'd seen a red dragon over there, and I think he just saw a couple of metal slimes right in that area, so not repelling. But I think one of the bigger differences we saw was that he was just pushing out and not really finding a lot. Your first real push was to Mountain Cave, where what were your thoughts about that? Because didn't you enter with like no MP?
I had 5 hit points and no MP, and I was just hoping for a town to refill. And I saw a cave, and I was like, well, I gotta look, I'm all the way out here. And I was like, well, I'm gonna just start going, and I'm sure I won't even make it to the first chest, and I cleared the whole thing with 5 HP. That's because it was the Swamp Cave zone, so I knew it was pretty reasonable, but the back attack could still get me. But I had no idea what the bottom floor was like, so it was a fun trip. I got the key. It didn't help. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you never know if you're gonna, fail to run from a wolf or something, and go home before you get a step away from the key item. Isn't that right, DK?
Yeah, and the sad thing was it wasn't even a step away from key item. It was a step away from coal, which was worthless. But it was so far out of the way that you have to go back and check it out, because it's a town. It's the first thing you finally find, because this map sucked. But it was an amazing seed. I'm glad to have ran this, because this was really fun overall. The map sucked. It sucked for us as players, but I'm sure it was enjoyable overall for you guys.
Yeah, GG, DK.
Yeah, GG, B-dub. Yeah, rough little seed. I thought I played it flawless. Exploration got me. When you last location the keys, either mountain or rim, either way, it's going to be rough. But I thought I played it really well. I thought things went great. We took the perfect grinds along the way. I think we moved out at the right time, and it paid off pretty well. My metal slimes, by the way, were the top zone of grave. They were outside of swamp, but I didn't kill either of those.
Okay. I knew we saw them, and that was something that kind of kept you, because Brian was just fighting wolves. Like, I think he had fairy water going, just nonstop grinding wolves after his first foray out there, and was catching up to you slowly but surely. But you were fighting pretty decent stuff in the overworld too. And once you got hurt more, I think you got hurt more about 2 minutes before him. like then that didn't matter, and it was just a dash to find whatever we needed to find, which unfortunately again was kind of harder on you. But you did find Rim before Brian, and once you got keys, that kind of, I think, changed up the mix too.
Yeah, but there was a point where the two of you were, I think, 17 experience apart on the golem grind at the end, so it was, y'all took very disparate routes to get there, but it was super tight. I think the big difference was that Brian had already gotten the drop at that point, and you hadn't.
Yeah, I had it timed to where I was like, I'll take a death warp here, grab the drop. If I had to see the phrase "Golem hath woken up again," though, I was going to go insane.
I don't know if I want to get into too much detail about that, but you might want to watch this when you guys are both on that golem grind. And I'm pretty sure, like, when you both died and came back from start, I think DK, you got the drop. But the gap was very close when that happened, and the flute luck just kind of bit you. It seemed like Brian had a much better, like, he just was running up through golems, getting like 2 at a time when you were getting through 1. It was pretty brutal, to be honest.
It was. I made a note of it. I didn't have a single sleep locked golem in the entire grind. Not a single one that I fluted and it stayed asleep. Most of them, I had 7 that were 3 flutes, 2 that were 4 flutes, 1 that was 5 flutes. So I had that going for me, which was nice.
Well, I've heard that you have an affinity for the flute. So
It was amazing. I was enjoying every second of that.
I'm sorry to hear it though, because it sounds like we had played it very well, and then just that's how it's going to go down. But I guess that's how it's always going to go in DWR.
Absolutely,
the luck,
absolutely.
the luck somewhere.
What I really appreciated most from the seed, to be quite honest, happened very early during all that nasty beginning stuff, which was I got 15 crits in the seed, and they were all against those intro enemies and had no bearing on anything. I had no crits that actually mattered in this entire race.
Yeah, the crit value at the end can sometimes be misleading, and to just, if you're gonna final crit everything, then it doesn't really matter too much in the long run. But
well, thanks for getting this guy on, guys, especially with the amount of races today. I really appreciate it. Good luck on the rest of your races, Brian, and GG's again.
Yep, you too. Thank you. Thanks for everyone who put a restream together this afternoon. And yeah, lots more DWR the next couple weeks, so excited to watch and play a little more.
yeah, I think it's been our pleasure. Yeah, so good luck to both of you going forward. Again, this is a really well-fought race. There's a bunch of stuff. Like, the gap here at the end was primarily just, I think, the golems being a little fussy for DK. Brian did have the lead going into that, but it was super tight throughout. We would talk about somebody having the lead, and it would immediately flip. Something would change, and it was really hard to tell. Tilo, do you have any last thoughts about this? I'll go ahead and take us out since I'm doing the restream stuff.
I mean, all I have to say is it was absolutely brilliantly run by both of you. Some amazing strategic decisions. It was a lot of fun because he said you couldn't ever really tell who was in the lead because things being found by different people at different times, experience gaps widening and closing. It was absolutely incredibly entertaining and a lot of fun to watch you two handle a kind of rough seed.
Yeah, it was I don't know if this would go in the category of classic, but it was definitely fun to watch both of you hit the challenges in slightly different ways. But as again, thank you everyone. Thank you Shahali for the tracking. Thank you Tilo for helping with comms. I've been Aaron to you too, your commentator and restreamer. We're gonna go ahead and raid over to Silly Dabbit. He is restreaming, doing a Red Slime Zone restream of the RG365 Dr. Mookow's race. There is another one going on Angel FM's channel between Beta Strep and Nuxman if you want to watch that. But that one's already an hour in. I figured we'd go ahead and raid the race that just barely started. So thanks everyone. And yes, Ziggy, definitely. And we'll see you guys again soon.